Hello people, this is Dr. Zach. On this channel we discuss business, hustling and also the creation of generational wealth. Today I want to share with you and give you some tips and strategies of how you can sell your product like a superstar. I'm an investor, I'm a hustler, and I'm also an author of 5 books, including this one called The Graduate Hustler. In this book I have a whole chapter that I wrote about selling. So I am in the game of selling. You need to convince a prospective buyer to choose your product in preference of the multitude of products on the market. First of all, number one, you need a product to sell. You can't sell without a product. You need to have a product first in order to sell. Otherwise, what do you sell? You sell nothing. There are some people who recommend that we start with looking for market before production. It's very true. But I also want to fine-tune it into saying that at least have a product first and start small. You can always expand and get some more customers. So what is most important is to have a product. Number two, you need to understand your product inside out. You need to be selling something that you know you understand better than anyone else, if you can. In my case, I sell some fruit tree seedlings. I make sure I know how the trees are propagated. I know the varieties of peaches, of plums, of nectarines, and all the management practices that are required to raise those seedlings, make them into crops. I know the pests and diseases. So when I'm selling that product to the customer or to the prospective customer, if they ask me some questions, I'm ready to give them answers about my product because I've got knowledge and understanding of how it is raised. A prospective customer trusts someone who has got knowledge of what they're selling because they know the product is likely to be genuine. If you don't understand your product well, the prospective customer will choose your competitor over you. It is as simple as that. Value proposition. When you are selling, you need to know that you are selling value. You are giving some people value. People will exchange value with money. So you need to explain to the prospective customer the value they are going to get. People don't just buy for the sake of buying, or people don't just buy because they like you, but they want the good value for their money. These days money is very scarce. It's very difficult to get some money. So any sensible person would like to preserve and to make good use of their money. Quality and presentation. These are two things that are very, very important when you're selling. Your presentation. Your product needs to be neat and tidy so that it can be trusted. Your product needs to be of good quality so that people will keep coming back to you. Choose quality over quantity. You can have mass production of things, but make sure your product is always of high quality. And also make sure the presentation is spot on. You need to do your packaging in such a way that the presentation is appealing to the customer. Otherwise, the person will choose your product from your rival, from your competition, because you're just not appealing enough. You need to satisfy the eyes of the prospective buyer by good presentation, being neat and tidy. This applies to your product and also to your staff and yourself. Reliable supply. You need to have a source of supply which is reliable. If people come to you to buy something and you're always short of stock, next time they will not come back again to you. They will go to another person. They will go to another seller who is more reliable. So you need to be reliable in terms of your stocking. Your product needs to be in constant supply and you've got to have enough of it. Or set up some systems that if more is needed, you've got some ways of quickly mobilizing resources in order to get the product to the market. Customer care. This is one of the most important factors that you need to consider in selling. Customer is always the king, and the customer is always right. The customer is never wrong. If they complain, address the complaints. If they want you to explain things, take time to explain. And also coach and teach your staff to respect the customers. Customer care is not only good to retain current customers, but it's also important to get some referrals. If your customers are happy with your product, they are more likely to tell all the people in their circles and direct them to buy your product too. The opposite is also true. If a customer is unhappy with your product, they are also likely to tell the people in their circles not to buy your product. And that's not what you want. Follow-ups. You need to do some follow-ups. Try to create a database of your customers. And when you sell to them your product, make some follow-ups. A few weeks or a few months down the line, check on them. How is your product doing? And then offer assistance if you can. And that way you create a relationship with them, a good rapport, and they are likely to trust you more and keep coming back to buy from you because they know that you care. Advertisement. You need to be able to advertise your products. You can do that in the form of social media. You can use personalities like influencers to promote your brand. Get some celebrities who are good at marketing. You get into deals with them and they market your product. Most influencers charge to promote your brand. If you're big enough, you might start thinking of using influencers to sell, to help you to push your product on the market. And that strategy can be very, very effective. You can also advertise in newspapers, on radio, on television, and all forms of media that you think you can find your customers. Branding. Develop your brand. This applies to your personality. This applies to your product as well. Your brand must be unique, and it must be something that is simple and that your customers will quickly identify when they see the brand. Competition. Selling and marketing is full of competition, and you need to compete gracefully. You must be aggressive, yes, but do it in such a way that does not create enmities within your competition. When you're winning, win gracefully. You can be a market disruptor. It's acceptable. It's okay because that's marketing. That's business. Just avoid direct confrontation with people. Be careful not to use pricing as a form of competition because it always backfires. If you undercharge a lot, it doesn't only cut your profits, but it can ruin your business very quickly, especially if you are a small business. The best way to compete against big players is to offer better quality. People are likely to be more loyal to you because they're trusting you that you're giving them a good value for their money in terms of quality and reliability. Be comfortable with rejection. I've always talked about this. When you're selling, you face a lot of rejection. It's the part of the game. You can't be selling without facing rejection. If you are too scared to be rejected, you can't be in business. You must also polish your persuasive skills. You must be able to communicate well. You must have some presentational skills because you need them when you're pitching your product. Don't be scared of the crowd. Don't be scared of talking to people. You don't die. 90% of people are more afraid of dying than doing public speaking. My God. You need to approach people and talk to them. Don't worry about good English. It's okay. You can talk in Shona. You can talk in your own language. You can talk in Tonga. You can talk in Zulu. You can use Tamil. You also need to connect with your customers. develop that relationship and get an understanding of them, and also get interested in what they do. That way, they trust you better. They are more likely to be associated with the brand, and they want to be part of it. So when they are part of the system, they are more likely to refer people to your business. You can also reward the repeat customers. Give them some incentives. Rewarding people who bring some customers to your business. Institutions of higher learning do that a lot. Policy insurance do that a lot. They use that strategy. It's a strategy they use. It's a strategy that you can use as well. Sometimes some products fail to take off. No matter how much you try, it's just not accepted on the market. It's normal. It's the nature of business as well. So if you push your product, and eventually you think that, oh, you're just losing traction, it's not working, it's always good to find a point to call it off, draw a line, start afresh, start a new business. You've tried everything, you've employed all these strategies, they're all not working. Maybe people just don't need the product, maybe you're not good enough versus your competition. Find something that you can do better and do it well than anyone else. I hope you've got something from this. When you employ all these strategies, you can even sell ice to the Eskimos. I wish you all the best in selling your product. Please don't forget to subscribe, and also press the like button if you like the content. This is Dr. Zek signing out.